Friends of Fontaine, though. I think that started. Is, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. St. Gabriel's is 14. Yeah. 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 I'm not sure how.
I gave the shoes up. I'm barefoot.
I'm sorry.
I gave the shoes up. I can't take it
Oh,
anymore.
good. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I drank this food all over my.
Oh yeah. We're on the mic.
Do we have anybody? Good evening, everyone. If we could have everyone find a seat, we'd like to begin. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? I can hear. If you can hear me, just raise your hand in the back. No. Evidently, you can hear me, Bob. Okay. All right. I don't know that I can get much closer. Does that help? Okay. All right. So if everyone will have a seat, we're going to get started. We are live streaming. If you have questions that you put on your cards, or if you have envelopes that you wish to, Bob will take the envelopes. He's in the back. If you would do that, please. If you left them downstairs, that's fine. If there's any questions in their live streaming, write that into the chat room. And we will get those questions answered, because we do have this live streaming for folks that are not able to join us. Other than that, just want to introduce Pierre Louis, that I'm sure most of all of you know, and he's just going to make a couple of announcements, and then Brother Bill will take over and do a presentation and give you some very exciting information. Pierre Louis?
Again, thank you to you all for coming, and for probably most of you have been with us for the last 13 years, and then we still have a long way to go. But what I want to inform you, we now have a new school executive director, that's Father Brunel Pierre, who is the pastor of St. Gabriel's Parish. And we also do have a new accountant, a very talented, experienced man that, who also will work with Father Brunel to make the school a greater community for us and for Haiti. Again, without all the sad and bad news you're watching or reading about Haiti, we do have a lot of good things happening there. When, like in maybe 1 or 2 more years, we'll have the first 2 medical students graduate from medical doctors in Fontaine. That would be impossible without the help of people like you. We have like now 4 or 5 young women who are nurses, who graduate from nursing school. It's because of you. We also have 5 of our graduates teaching at St. Gabriel's as teacher. That's all those things couldn't be possible without your help. Please, thank you for all you have done. Again, we're still working on our campaign to raise enough funds to build a new school building, and then we cannot, actually I can't find any better way to thank you for all you have done. Thank you again. As we said, if you have any questions, I'll be here, Modena will be here to answer it. Thank you.
Good evening. Okay. On behalf of the Friends of Fontaine, I extend to each of our guests present at Christ Our Light and watching by internet a warm and loving welcome. You are our mission partners as we befriend the people of Fontaine. A million thanks for your giving us some of your precious time to find out how our mission in Fontaine is unfolding. Too many people know that their dreams die when they go to Haiti. I am here to show you how your dreams for Fontaine have been fulfilled. Because of your overwhelming generosity for the past 12 years, many of our befriending communities mentioned here on this slide, the prayers and dreams of the Haitians have become realities on the dusty, rocky, unpaved paths of Fontaine, as well as in stomachs, classrooms, and medical clinics. Haitians have prayed for help since France enslaved them on its richest colony, its pearl of the West Indies. Slaves died, on average, every 6 months from the horrendous working conditions. Despite overthrowing France militarily, France and friends drained Haiti's economy dry with war debt and boycotts that paralyzed its development. We occupied Haiti from 1914 to 1934, and again in 1994 until 1997. May this sculpture open our minds and hearts to Fontaine's prayers and dreams. For me, this rainbow seen from the roof of St. Gabriel's in 2016 symbolizes Christ's light shining on and giving God's life to our sisters and brothers in Fontaine. It is very important to understand Fontaine's location in Haiti. The mountains to the right of the arrow border the Dominican Republic. These mountains and the ones to the south cause most of the rain to fall before it reaches Fontaine. But these mountains also protect it from violent hurricanes. But most importantly, the mountain rains bless Fontaine by feeding Fontaine's main water source, the river that flows by it. Droughts and extreme heat waves have steadily increased in Fontaine, wrecking agriculture, its primary source of income. This bird's eye photo shows our beloved St. Gabriel's property. School building is in white, the reservoir in blue, and the 3-acre garden on the right. We can see a sugarcane garden growing above the school and reservoir. Sugarcane is Haiti's second largest crop after corn. It is vital that our mission always leads us. St. Gabriel dreams of a flourishing Fontaine served by competent leaders. Father Noon believed in Pierre Louis' dream to bring middle and secondary education to Fontaine and founded our Friends of Fontaine in 2011. Pictured are some of those who serve on Friends of Fontaine's board as directors and our Haitian partners. Fontaine prayed for water, and Friends of Fontaine answered their prayer. The well Friends of Fontaine dug answered our prayers and fulfilled Fontaine's dream until 2017. As rainfall diminished and Fontaine's wells began to fail, Friends of Fontaine launched a rain harvesting project in 2017 and 18 that kept the tap open. Engineers from New York and builders from North Carolina partnered with Fontaine's engineer and team to build a state-of-the-art 200,000-gallon reservoir. This was truly a dream come true. The climate change crisis limited our rain harvesting. We could not irrigate the garden and lost most of our harvest. We prayed for a miracle. We know that prayer can move mountains, so we were sure it could move rivers, and it did. Our Haitian engineers designed a pumping system, secured it in Fontaine's riverbed, and connected it to St. Gabriel's power supply. We protected the pump from the natural erosion along the river with a wall of gabions, and last October, we fulfilled Fontaine's dream of water security, another dream come true. All right. Our PowerPoint is not showing the video. But let's see. But truly a dream comes true to see the Kay Conley Reservoir filling up with the precious gift of water being pumped from the river. Of course, Pierre Louis' prayer for education beyond grade 6 in Fontaine was another dream coming true in 2012. Building St. Gabriel's has employed Fontaine's many construction workers who take great pride in their work. August 22nd, 2012, St. Gabriel's Phase 1 was dedicated, a quantum leap forward for Fontaine, another dream fulfilled. 4 classrooms, 3 offices, and a computer room on the second floor were blessed. Two years later, 4 more classrooms were added on the second floor. What a wonderful sight to see hundreds of Haitian students being missioned to be servant leaders in Haiti. They hear from day one that the gift they are receiving of an education they must also give to others. The dreams of 243 St. Gabriel's students, graduates, of becoming a highly educated Haitian have come true. Only 5% of Haitians have graduated from secondary school. Would St. Gabriel's dream of building a cafeteria ever come true? This slide shows the space between the kitchen and the school building. Fontaine celebrated the groundbreaking of its largest gathering space ever. With the expertise of the top-notch builder in Haiti, employing Haitians, the desperately needed cafeteria and multi-purpose building became a reality. An earthquake-proof foundation soon took form. A steel-framed structure that can seat over 300 people also provides 4 additional rooms for healthcare clinics, a library, a stage, storage, and main assembly hall for morning assemblies, liturgies, and large group gatherings. Gang violence closed the road from Port-au-Prince to Fontaine and delayed shipments, but the Haitians always find a way to overcome adversity. The 2024 graduates were the first to use the pavilion, which was waiting for its roof panels from Port-au-Prince. So the workers covered most of the roof with wall panels for the big celebration in August. Inspections concluded that St. Gabriel's building cannot withstand future earthquakes and must be replaced. Phase 4 begins July 16th, 2024. An earthquake-proof 4-classroom building allows the dream of St. Gabriel's to continue. Our prayers are answered. Another dream fulfilled for students to this 2024-2025 school year that began this week. Fontaine is in Haiti's breadbasket. Drought has plagued St. Gabriel's 3-acre garden since it was planted in 2016. Kevin Bailey, with The Sky Is Not Limited, donated a well and solar-powered system to irrigate the garden. The garden blossomed until the well failed. Look at the difference between the garden, the same view of the garden in this slide and the last. Our prayers and dreams of solving Fontaine's water crisis are being answered and will help solve its hunger problem. Our garden looked very promising in 22, 23, as this slide shows, but a lack of rain in our reservoir doomed the crop. There are really too many magnificent dreams and prayers answered in Fontaine to try to squeeze into this slideshow, but I must share some of the most important ones. 10 years of meals every day for our students, propane cooking, computer lab and instructions from 7th to 13th grade, internet service, pure chemical-free drinking water, health care clinics, at least a dozen clinics for hundreds each week. Water security year-round for irrigation. I can't quite see that, but you can see our investment, our sacrifices for Haiti are truly fulfilling the needs of our Haitian sisters and brothers. As sponsors know well from the letters the students write, the precious gift of an education for them is only possible with your support, and so a million thanks go to you. Whatsoever we do for our least brothers and sisters, we do to Jesus. So we all have a mission in life, to be God's loving care to each other, especially those most in need. A million thanks for being a true friend to our sisters and brothers in Fontaine. Thank you, a million thanks to each of you for all you do. So we now would love to respond to any questions that you have about Haiti and what's happening. Does Father Noon have, are there any, do we have any questions from downstairs? Okay. From the chat, from the active chat? Do we have any questions about what? We don't have any questions? Yes, John.
What is the status of the capital campaign?
Yes, the question, especially for those watching us on the live stream, what is the update on the capital campaign?
Great question, John. Thank you very much for asking it. So we've had a couple capital campaigns, as we've mentioned. The most recent capital campaign was to do two things. And I'm going to goof this up, Barbara, but we're going to have I'm going to call it a restroom or a bathroom that we're building. But what are you calling it, Barbara? A hygiene facility, because we want to have a little more class than just a bathroom. It's going to be the Barbara Floyd Hygiene Facility. Actually, what we're going to do, to be very serious for a moment, because it is a very serious issue, we had a young doctor that actually went to Haiti many, many times, Adeline Fagan. And she went with my son, who's also a physician, and I've been there several times with her. She contacted COVID a couple of years ago, and we lost her. Adeline was 24, 25, very, very young doctor. The many times that I've met her, her energy, her excitement was just phenomenal. And one of her goals was to someday actually adopt a Haitian child. She was so into Haiti and into caring for the children, and she was just phenomenal, but unfortunately we lost her to COVID. John, to answer your question, the hygiene facility as well as the new school classrooms that we're building, our goal was $350,000. I am phenomenally excited to announce we've raised $309,000 to date. So we're very, very close to our goal. A large portion of that I want to acknowledge was certainly John Fitzgerald's Foundation did make a very generous donation, as well as many others. But that was a phenomenal achievement, and we're very excited. We're very, very close to what we're trying to accomplish here. As we mentioned, we've got 4 classrooms already built, and the students are using them, and we have several more that will be constructed very shortly. And the hygiene facility will begin, from what I understand, in the next few weeks. Long answer to a very good question, John. I'm sorry. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? I'd love to hear what you think. Are you excited? Do you think this is pretty cool? I'm excited. In the back. Yes, dear. Question is, when do we feel it will be safe to allow Americans to go back to Haiti? Obviously, our medical students from the University of Buffalo have not been able to return for a few years now. I believe 2019 was the last year. Brother Bill was forced to leave 2 years ago?
Yeah, June of 23. Yeah.
June of 23, so about a year and a half?
Yeah.
So the question is, I don't have an answer, to be very frank with you. I do know that some individuals that I've been in touch with, that Father David has been in touch with, have made trips to Haiti and have done it safely. Most of those trips are going through Cape Haitian, not going through Port-au-Prince. And if you can get into Cape Haitian and you have, I know they're visiting some schools and doing some work there, it's not too bad. There were many, many roadblocks. Many of them have no longer, are out there. But whether it's going to be a year or two, it's an unknown factor. But there are some not-for-profit groups that have gone back and started to do some visits in the Cape Haitian area, which, as you may know, is further north. Port-au-Prince is still very, very dangerous with the gang activity. Pierre-Louis, would you add anything, or did I leave? He's in agreement with that. What else can we answer for you? Yes, sir.
What's the average enrollment by grade, and what's your maximum capacity?
Very good question. The question is, what is the enrollment by level, by grade level, and what's our capacity? Right now, we have grades 7 through 13, as many of you may be aware of. We try, based on the capacity and classroom size, we try to limit that between 38 and 40 per class size. So that gives us about 250, 260 students enrolled in the school. Am I quoting correct numbers, Pierre Louis? I haven't gotten kicked yet, so I believe that I'm still on target. So around 250, about 40 per class. And I'll be honest, you know, our students have struggled. You know, the letters that I read to you earlier are very, very encouraging in my mind based on how the graduates perceive what they've been able to accomplish with their 7 years of schooling. But, you know, they've faced a lot of challenges. We're very, very proud to be able to provide a hot meal every day. And you know what? That makes a lot of difference when you're trying to study and trying to achieve success in your grades. If you're sitting there with an empty stomach, and many of them, it may be the only meal they get. So our hot meal program is a huge, huge benefit, and we're very grateful for the donations that we have to be able to keep that going. Because without that, these young adults would be sitting in classrooms perhaps with no food. What else? I see another hand. All right, I'm going to, can you quote numbers? To be frank, it's a little bit lower than it has been prior to some of this gang activity, but Pierre Louis, can you cite some numbers? I don't know if I would be correct.
Yeah, usually we used to be either 100% or 95%, but in the last 2 years, the percentage go down. Like this year, we're about like 75% pass. But as now we have a new director and a new accountant, we are reinforcing the staff so that we get back to, by hopefully next year, 100%. Thank you.
Yeah, a question from Bill?
I understand some of the students must travel a far distance. Are there any plans for housing so that they don't have to travel as far, they can live on campus?
So I'll repeat the question. You're really giving me angst here. That's a tough question. The question is, would there be any plans based on the fact that some of our students do travel some distance to potentially house them at the school? The answer is no. Many of our students are local to the community. So one of the reasons that Pierre Louis' dream was to have St. Gabriel's built in Fontaine was so that these students wouldn't have to travel so far to be able to get an education. So we do have a few students that are out in the outer perimeters of Fontaine, but many of them are local to the community.
Could we add to that a number of students who have to walk, let's say, more than 2 hours, they have relatives in Fontaine, so they actually go ahead and board there in Fontaine during the week, and then they go home on the weekends. So Haitians are very accommodating. There's no problem they can't solve. And they'll solve the gang problem. But yes.
Thumbs up. I did see a hand back here. Yes. I'm sorry, I only heard a little bit of your question. Can maybe someone help me?
The students, the 25% students who did not pass the state exam, what happens to them afterwards? Do they return to school and get another chance, or do they go into the workforce, or what's the situation there?
Yeah, I think they have some help from the school, and they will have to repeat those tests by December. And hopefully, like last year, those who failed went to the test to take the test in December. They all passed. I hope this, like next December, the other 25 will pass. Yes.
I see another hand back here. Question?
There are 2 questions from the chat.
Okay, wonderful.
One asks, how is the plan of transitioning tuition costs to the students' families
how is the plan to something? I missed a few words there.
The plan of transitioning tuition costs to the student's family.
Okay, so as each student has a sponsor, and many of those sponsors, of course, several of you are right in this room. Father David works diligently to ensure that every student in the school has a sponsor. The parents do have some responsibility to contribute to part of that tuition payment. So at this point, part of the sponsorship is covered by donors here in the U.S., and the parents do pay a portion of that tuition.
But the question was, are we going to transition to the parents covering all?
Well, so I can't emphasize enough the critical situation as far as I mentioned earlier, 80% of the average Haitian family's funding or income is going to just get food. So we don't have any immediate plans to increase what that portion from the parents would be to cover the tuition. So we will continue at this point to rely on the generosity of our donors here to help us with the sponsorships. Perhaps as things improve and we can move in that direction. Right now, our meal program, which is generously supported by several individuals, has tripled in cost to provide that hot meal each day. The inflation on food in Haiti is tremendous. I believe there was a second question, sir?
We need to repeat the question.
Is there something that could be done to create an environment for graduates to come back and help the citizens of Fontaine or the school?
Okay, so let me repeat the question. It's actually an excellent question. The question is basically, is there something that can be done to create an environment that the graduates can come back and help the school? Apparently we mentioned a few minutes ago that very much so that is happening now. We have 5 students that have graduated that are actually teachers in the school. We have 2 individuals that are being sponsored that are almost finishing up their medical studies for doctors. We have a young man that graduated as a dentist that had been going around. I don't know how much he's been able to do it lately with the environment, but he was giving free dental services for, he graduated as a dentist. So the answer is yes. We absolutely are getting a return of our graduating students to come back and support the community that they live in and actually support the school. Something to add,
And
please?
then, I also, our school maintenance guy from St. Gabriel, we sent him to a 2-year program school in Cape Haitian to be an electrician, and then he's back now working at the school as a maintenance person. That's what we're working on. Also, it is very rare in Haiti to have women teaching in high school. And then I really want to increase the female teachers at St. Gabriel's. Like for the next class, I would like to see we have someone to sponsor maybe 1 or 2 of the females to send them to university to be high school teacher. Yeah.
I'm sure happy to hear that. All right, any other questions before we call it a night? Anything from the chat room? Anything from any of you in our room? Yes, sir.
I have one that's not necessarily directly related to the education, but because they have a garden there when there's irrigation. I was wondering, what do they do to fertilize the soil? I know corn is one of the major crops, and that is extremely, it uses a lot of nitrogen and depletes the soil. So I was wondering what is used there in particular and in general in Haiti to counteract.
So I'm going to repeat your question, and then I'm going to start with the answer, and then I'm going to let Brother Bill finish. So the question was, we have a garden, we have 3 acres of land, and what are we doing to ensure that we're replenishing the soil and that we continue to enrich it so that we can continue to get, strong crops. So we have land, and now, based on the description of what Brother Bill gave you, we have water coming through our reservoir and we have water coming from the river. So that is a fairly new situation, but that is, water is life in Haiti. Okay, we had a very flourishing crop a couple years ago, and unfortunately, the drought conditions in Haiti have intensified, so it became critical that we pump water from the river, which we're then able to irrigate the land. We are in the process of regenerating the garden, so right now, we don't have anything in the garden. All right, I'm going to let Bill finish answering that because he's very experienced as far as what we can put in and how we can replenish the land.
Yeah. We have, there's a technical school in Pion, which is just 3 miles away, and there's a professional agronomist there. So when we actually put in the irrigation system, we also dug a composting part of the garden. A huge pit, so we're using that to replenish to make new soil. We also there's quite a bit of livestock. One of the main transportations is donkey and horses, and so we've been able to use when the garden was actually being planted. The agronomists were using manure that was available right there, but we hope that this, with their advice, with the agronomist advice, they're all professionals, that we'll be able to do that without using a lot of artificial fertilizers.
We do have one more at the end.
Okay, last question. How do graduates pay for what?
How do graduates
Pay for post-St. Gabriel
University after graduate.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think the question, if I understood you correctly, is how do graduates from St. Gabriel's pay for, I think you said postgraduate education, which would be university study? Well, a few ways. Several of our graduates have been fortunate enough to have sponsors that have allowed them to continue their studies. Some of our graduates have been fortunate enough to get scholarships, and they've been able to capitalize on those scholarships. So it's a combination of generous donors, great students achieving wonderful grades that make them eligible for scholarships, as well as a little bit, often, the Haitians are very, very family-oriented, and often they will pool as many resources together as they can to be able to attempt to support that student, that young adult going on to university. One more question. Yes, sir. No. They're going to university within Haiti. And actually, a couple of our doctors that we're sponsoring that are almost to the point of graduating have been in Port-au-Prince. And some of the things that they're struggling with is the school's closed. There's a lot of dangers that they've faced, but I'm extremely proud to announce that they've held their grades, they've attended, and they're doing very well, and they're in their last year. But no, they are in local universities within Haiti.
Can I just add?
Of course.
UCCC is only about 30 minutes away from Fontaine, and it has an agronomy, a medical school, and nursing, and do they have business? No.
No, theology.
Oh, theology, yeah. So, and that's, I remember back in 2020 when our students went down and took the scholarship exam, 7 of them won scholarships from the first year that they applied. So it was a real tribute to our education at St. Gabriel's. Yeah.
On behalf of Friends of Fontaine Board and all of you who are, of course, Friends of Fontaine, I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for supporting our Haitian brothers and sisters. And I wish you a safe return home and a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.